I'm Holly.
And I'm Bridget.
And this
is Girls Next Level. I am so overdue for Botox. I'm like months overdue.
Use that whenever you're ready.
Perfect. I'm a little bit overdue too. Like my concealer's starting to like crease up.
It's so bad. And I don't know about you, but I look like a freak when I come back from Botox. I got welts and
I grow like devil horns when I come back from
Botox. Yes. And like I have the little like blood dots, like scabs all over my face.
I know.
Plus they wipe all your makeup off if you have any on. So it's like I can't just come back and sit down to dinner and be ready to go.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's important. We gotta fit it in.
I know. It's important, especially because I'm going to New York.
Yeah. Oh, have you ever noticed cold face?
What is... Oh, how ugly it gets when you're freezing? Yes. What is that?
I don't know, but it's always been a thing, even when I was young. But I feel like, of course, as you get older, you're more self-conscious about your face and stuff, so it affects you more when you're older. And I remember years ago, Jenny McCarthy used to host the New Year's Eve special with Ryan Seacrest. And on the internet, some like photo of her was getting passed around, like a still screen grab from like her hosting a show, which first of all, when you do an action screen grab, it's hardly ever flattering.
Yeah.
And it's cold.
Yeah.
And people were like, what has Jenny McCarthy done to her face? Da, da, da. She looks like Joan Rivers. And I'm like, you guys, it's the cold.
Yeah.
What cold will do to your face, Botox could never. First of all, it makes my eyes super red, like even more red than they usually are. It makes it so like I can't move my face, but not in an attractive way. It's something else.
Yeah, I feel like the face just looks really like kind of hard and cracked kind of when it's so cold. Like just more lines than ever before. And
it makes your makeup kind of sit weird on your face.
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy. What I mean by like kind of cracked. Like it looks coated, powdered or something. Ugh.
So welcome back to Girls Next Level, guys. We are, speaking of the cold, today we are talking about our snowboarded episode. And should we do a little fit check for those watching the videos?
Sure.
Because people have kind of been requesting it. So I'm wearing snowboarding pants from Burton, if you guys can see.
But those aren't the ones from...
I did not wear them on the show. I should have because they're cute. I didn't wear them on the show, but they were given to me by Burton in that episode.
Oh.
It was just like an extra outfit I didn't wear. I ended up wearing the same outfit twice or whatever. I didn't have a chance to wear these pants. I really like them. I'm wearing a tank top from Amazon. Oh, it doesn't look like especially cute sitting here, but it's like cropped and it's like the best, most comfortable. It's super cheap. It's like a good basic. I'll link it below if I remember. And I wanted to wear my white Burton snowboarding coat that I wear in this episode. But as I mentioned on our Patreon, I had a possible break-in in my house last night, so I couldn't go in. I just had to like lock the door, set the alarm, and see if my motion sensor went off.
So scary. That story is so scary.
So I came here from like crashing at the beach house and just didn't even have a bra. So the nipples
so treat for everybody.
Out. Yeah.
I am wearing, so I still have all my stuff from Burton too. I have the snowboard, I have the boots, I have the pants, the socks. I even still have the long johns from underneath, the beanie, everything. But it's all at my parents' house in storage. So
in the Indiana Jones locker.
Yes, exactly. And
the Citizen Kane storage.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get it in time. So I am wearing just like a beanie. I got this beanie for our Scotland trip, and I didn't end up like needing it. Or it was like Switzerland too, but I think I wore it one morning in Switzerland and that was it. Yeah, a little sweater, some leggings, and my Yeti boots.
Yeti. I love it.
That's my fit for today.
Love it. So this episode first aired on April 15th, 2007. It feels, when I say 2007, I feel like that's so close to the end for us.
Sorry, can I interrupt you again?
Yeah.
I think we need to tell everybody about our billboard.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this on the Patreon, but hit it.
Yes, I just want everybody else to know who isn't on our Patreon that Patreon hit us up and asked us if we would want to be on a billboard in Times Square.
Yeah.
And we were like, Yes, of course we do. And so it's a digital billboard and they're featuring other artists too, but like it's going to like rotate, but we're going to be on a billboard in Times Square. And so I am doing a bucket list trip. I have always wanted to go with my mom and my sister too, but specifically my mom to New York at Christmas time, like full girls trip. And my mom and I are going, my sister's meeting us there, and we're going to have like this I'm going to go see the Rockettes. I'm so excited. I can't even stand it. Like, when I booked the tickets last night, like I was just freaking out, because I've never seen the Rockettes and I'm dying. This whole trip is going to be bucket list.
Is there like a backstage experience you can do with the Rockettes?
Ooh, you know what? Thanks for reminding me that.
I feel like there is.
I don't know, but I do remember when I booked the tickets, I did see there was another category for just like experiences. And I was like, oh, I wonder, oh wait, did I click it? And it was like a dance. I feel like it was like a dance lesson and like some other things that weren't a backstage tour. I don't know if they do that, but that would be amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to be spamming you with anything I see online that's like a cool Christmas in New York experience.
Please do. And that's why I wanted to say it on here too. If anybody has any fun ideas or tips or anything that I should do or see while I'm there, I am open for suggestions. We want this to just be totally fun.
I already sent you the Times Square Krispy Kreme because I guess they make like a special apple Krispy Kreme donut that's like the most expensive Krispy Kreme for Times Square.
Yes. It's cute.
Very cute. So, this episode first aired on April 15th, 2007.
Wait, that's weird. That's my mom's birthday.
Oh,
and we're just talking about my mom.
Hi, Mom. The number one song was Give It To Me by Timbaland. And on TV, people were watching Cold Case, America's Next Top Model, and Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. So this episode is so notable for me because it was my first time spending a night away from Hef, or a day away, full day away from Hef, in the 5.5 years that I'd been with him.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. 5.5 years of dating someone and you have not spent a day or a night apart.
Right. I had, but this was the very first trip that the three of us got to go on overnight together. Very first.
Yeah.
In all of that time. Speaking of which, too, I mean, not speaking of that, but like I do have those emails and memos and notes that I wanted to talk about how this like kind of happened and how much it meant for Playboy.
Yeah, tell me
Burton.
about how the idea came about, like whose idea was this? Why are we snowboarding? And also, this is kind of a side thing, so I don't know if you know, but also like I'm surprised I got to go. And I wonder why that is. Like, were they like, oh, we need a clumsy girl? Like, how did they get Hef to let all of us go for a night? Because as you'll see, like, of course, in seasons 4 and 5, like there's a handful of overnights we finally get to go on. But I wonder what made him like, oh, okay, I think the girls can go.
Oh, I think it's absolutely the success of the show.
Yeah.
And wanting that content for the show and how important this Burton merger meant for them. Like, I had no idea. So, like we've mentioned before, snowboarding was my idea. It was something that I thought would be really fun. Like, I was always thinking of like what we could do that and was also like season appropriate for things. And I thought snowboarding would be really cool. I just like, it's not even that I'm like so into snowboarding or anything, but I just love the idea of going to a ski resort at, during the winter time, even just having hot cocoa in the lodge. Like, I just thought that could be like a really fun and pretty episode. I know how much Kendra loves snowboarding. I know that I don't think you'd ever been at that time. I'd only been like a couple of times. So I just thought it would be perfect and like great content for the show. And I knew, so my ex had like a store that I think we've talked about this before too, a million years ago, but it sold like skateboard, snowboard, wakeboard, like all that kind of stuff. So I knew about Burton and that kind of thing. And I also knew that they had done a specialty board for the Playboy's 50th anniversary. So I knew they weren't like, they had done stuff together in the past before, like slightly, like a branding deal anyway. I don't think it was anything more than that. But I knew that they were like sort of at least open to the idea of Playboy, which is also another hard thing when we're trying to find, especially back then, when we're trying to find people that wanted to partner with us or do things with us. Sometimes the Playboy brand would scare people off and they weren't into it. But Burton was not like that. So I had mentioned it. I kind of got contacts through my ex about like who we would talk to through Burton and got the ball rolling and like pitched it as an idea and all that kind of stuff. But then I came across these emails. These are written on December 7th of 2006, and it was to Mary. from our PR person, and it was regarding Girls Next Door and Burton. And it says, the girls mentioned a potential snowboarding episode for season 3, and we were interested in Playboy's relationship with top snowboard maker Burton. Playboy worked with Burton during our 50th anniversary, and they are interested in working with us again for an episode of Girls Next Door. The brand affiliation alone makes this a great opportunity. Burton is an extremely cool young brand and undisputed leader in the snowboard community. Burton is willing to create custom co-branded snowboards for the girls, a process that usually takes 6 months. They will expedite this to accommodate the show. They will also reach out to their high-profile talent, such as Olympic gold medalist Shawn to give the girls snowboarding lessons. This would be great for PR for the show, as well as general cool factor for Playboy. Ideally, Burton would like to have the girls attend one of their Learn to Ride clinics, the closest one being in Lake Tahoe. The girls could travel there and back in one day. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Attached is more specific information. Please let us know ASAP so we can alert Burton. But just like selling themselves on it, like a press release type of thing. And then they, for the episode details, they said that they want the content. Burton, brand ambassador, will teach Holly, Bridget, and Kendra to snowboard. And they want product placement. Burton will produce 3 custom-made, co-branded snowboards based on the girls' individual personalities, along with snow bunny gear. Place one of Burton's Learn to Ride women's clinics, and they listed 4 of them: Lake Tahoe, Winter Park, Colorado, Keystone, Colorado, and Copper, Colorado. And the timing, this needs to be done anytime January through early March. And then it says potential opportunities: Girls Next Door episode content, to be affiliated with the coolest snowboarding lifestyle brand in the market today, grow the number of viewers by collaborating with this alternative lifestyle brand, possibly guest appearance from one of Burton's world-renowned brand ambassadors like Shawn White, possible editorial content, an interview, or man track, which I don't know what that is. Was that a thing in Playboy, man track?
I think so, yeah.
Possible licensing opportunities, mobile content, charity tie-in. The girls in Hef sign the boards and auction off for a favorite charity, which I don't think that happened.
We wanted to keep our boards.
Yeah. Opens the doors to potential advertisers in the extreme sports market. So that's what it meant to them. And like I said, Burton sent a whole page selling themselves on it as well. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Decorating the house, a fire in the fireplace, baking holiday cookies, getting all cozy in a nice blanket, hot cocoa, putting together a puzzle. Those are some of my favorite things to do in December. It brings me comfort and happiness, and it makes me feel super cozy. But therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away, even when the seasons change.
I've been open with you guys about how helpful therapy has been for me throughout all phases of my adult life. And I think for a lot of people, the holidays are a really sensitive time, especially if you just experienced maybe a loss in the family. Holidays are the time when you're supposed to feel so close to everybody. And sometimes people just don't feel that. And you need that extra person to bounce those thoughts off of and to help you feel your best.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/nextlevel today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/nextlevel.
So this episode starts with the cold open. You see Duke climbing on the couch in Mary's office. I'm down there talking to her. I'm wearing one of the sweatshirts I had made for our Disney World trip, which is one of those like dork family sweatshirts where it has like the Disney characters and it's like Disney World Trip 2005 or something like that.
Yeah.
And this it has to be an establishing scene, you know, setting up that Burton is coming, because we were getting in the habit of doing that a lot, having me go down to Mary's office to tell her, aka the audience, what's going on.
You know what's funny is Duke's crawling on the couch and you call him Errol Flynn. And I was like, does anybody know who Errol Flynn is anymore?
I don't know. He was an old movie star from the 40s. And he was such a man whore that people would refer to like being with a woman as being in like Flynn. And when he wrote his memoir, he wanted to call it In Like Me, which I think is so good, but they didn't let him call it that. It had a stupid title instead. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
And I say to Mary, I want to be at the studio all the time because I'm obsessed at this point.
And in commentary, we are talking about this episode, and Kendra's talking about how this is her all-time favorite episode. But then we say how it was the lowest rated episode of the season.
Which is interesting. And the feedback I remember hearing from the network was that we were too covered up. So people didn't recognize us.
So I don't think that's the full truth. I think that's partially it. I think we were too covered up for E.
Yeah.
But I think that the problem was, and we talk about this in the commentary a little bit, is the real problem was you, Kendra, and Shawn White were dressed very similar ways, and along with a lot of other people on the slopes, and they couldn't tell who was who. And I felt that way even rewatching it. I'm like, it takes me a second to be like, oh, we're watching Holly snowboard now. Oh, we're watching, and not because, of the talent or anything like that. Once you watch it for a minute, you can tell like who's snowboarding better or whatever and make out who it is. But it is hard at first to tell. Like I think that the biggest mistake that we probably made was not dressing color themed. And it doesn't have to be our colors. Like I didn't have to be in all pink and Kendra all blue, and I don't think white would have worked, but like, I picked
yellow
a color
or something.
Yeah. But if we would have just each picked a standout color and stuck to it, I think it would have been way better.
Yeah. And do you think, because that kind of factor, or being too covered up, definitely plays into like if people are flipping through the channels and they see the rerun, maybe they're not stopping on it because it's not the typical bikinis around the pool, bright color, oversaturated girls next door. But also when you talk about the ratings, it's like how many people chose to sit down and watch it that Sunday night. So before they've even seen it, they've only seen the teaser. I wonder why it was less appealing to people. Do you think it was because it was too sports related, just not as flashy and pretty to look at in the commercial, and people were like, oh, we're not really interested in that? Because the episode is dynamically different as well. Like, as we're recording this, I don't know if this is going to be our typical two-parter. It might be a one-parter, just because as I was doing these notes, there's so many action scenes in this of just like us snowboarding and us falling and us doing this that it doesn't lead to a lot of conversation. And like, what do you say about it? It's like, okay, well, now we're going down the hill and there's some cute sound effects. So it's definitely not a typical episode in that sense.
Right. I do think it's not as flashy. And I do think that if you could have seen that it was Shawn White, like there wasn't helmet. I know for safety we had to have helmets and goggles and all these things, but I feel like if you could have seen who everybody was and there was more face, that's the other thing. There's not a lot of, anytime we're out there snowboarding and stuff, there's not a lot of like,
there's the goggles and everything.
Yeah. Like there's not that eye contact you feel like you're making with people on the screen.
Yeah. And I neglected to watch the promo on the DVD for this. So I don't remember what the commercial for this episode was that they were running leading up to it. But I can't imagine there was a teaser for any real drama, because there's no drama in this episode, and I can't even think about how you would set it up or cut it to make it look like there was drama.
Right.
No. I mean, I can't think of anything. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, our lowest rated episode, but it was fun for us to do.
It was fun for us to do. And as we're going to talk about, and I'm probably going to say 800 times throughout this episode, is what an incredible opportunity it was.
Oh, totally.
I mean,
so memorable. Yeah.
And we'll get into it more
so many reasons,
all the things, but like it was, I felt very special doing this episode.
Me too.
And looking back on it, I'm like so happy that I had a hand in like implementing it, like making it happen and stuff. Because I feel like it was such a powerful thing for so many different big brands, for Playboy, not just for Girls Next Door and for E, but Playboy and Burton and like the resort in Vail, and you know what I mean? Like just so many people were like so excited to be a part of this. So I feel like that's exciting to help implement. While you're in the office with Mary, she's unwrapping boxes of stuff. Do you know what it is? They keep cutting away from it as soon as she starts pulling something out. And I'm wondering if it was like our Valentine's presents or...
I don't remember at all. I didn't like pay attention really.
Yeah.
In the scene. And then they have Kendra in confessional saying, well, first they have you saying, like, we're going on a vacation, we're doing this. And then Kendra says, yeah, we're doing a vacation. We deserve this after working so hard on the calendar.
I thought that was weird.
Okay, working on the calendar is not hard work. It was fun. It was something we all wanted to do. And we just really need a break. And maybe it was something they prompted her to say. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm just like, really? That's the hard work you need a break from?
I felt like that had to be a Fed line because as we know, calendar is just fun, and it is work, but it's not like hard work. It's just like fun. And this trip is not a vacation. Like, we're probably working harder on this trip than we are on the calendar.
True. Physically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And filming, like, because they, you know, you wake up and the cameras are there. They film everything throughout the day. It's not like it's this rest and relaxation trip.
Yeah. And when I'm in the office, I have Mary call Kendra to wake her up for the Burton meeting. And I'm wondering how or why I was asked to do that. I am assuming maybe it's because production didn't want to have to wake her up. So they're like, what's a different way we can do this? Let's sneak in with the camera.
Production's in there with the cameras and she's not waking up. So they probably asked, can you guys call down and wake Kendra up because she's going to miss this meeting and we need all three of you in the meeting.
And I have a question because I don't remember, because in the vanity I had a completely different type of phone.
Oh.
So I don't remember how, like, did the intercom work like that? Could you just buzz into somebody's room?
Yes, it was so annoying. And Mary was the biggest culprit, but other people would do it too. They would intercom into your room and they'd be like, Bridget, are you there? Pick up the phone. But you can't just yell and respond back. Like, you can't be like, I'm in the bathroom.
You have to go pick up.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of gluing something or something. You have to, like, get up and pick up the receiver to talk.
That's annoying, and I don't like it because even though they can't see in there, it gives you this weird, like, eye in the sky feeling.
Yeah, it was very intrusive feeling.
Like, you know what my ex-husband does is sometimes I'll be, like, with the kids at one of his houses, and he has, like, cameras all in the house. And, you know, and the kids love this, and, you know, it's just cute. Like, if he's running late from work or something, you'll hear his voice out of nowhere, like, hey, Forrest. And, like, the kids love it. And it's very cute way to connect. But I feel like it's so creepy.
Yeah.
Because it's like he can see through the cameras. And, like, you just hear this voice out of nowhere. I'm like, creep.
Yeah.
I say that, too. I'm like, creepy.
I don't like it. But we do have one of those for our cats, and we can talk to them.
Yeah.
But it sends them crazy because they cannot figure out why your voice is there, but they can't find you.
That's so funny.
Another thing before we move on from, like, how this all happened and everything too, I do want to say that there is false information out there by another podcast claiming that Kendra, this was all Kendra's idea to do this episode.
Who said that? I mean, I can guess, but... Because he said something else was Kendra's idea that wasn't her idea, too. I think it was the beach party. That's the one I heard, is he said that whole beach thing was Kendra's idea. And I'm like, you set that up.
So I heard, I did the beach one. I did surfing, too. But I heard, and I haven't watched it, so I don't know for sure, but I heard that he also said that this was totally Kendra's idea. And that sort of stuff just gets under my skin. I'm like, no, I have to set this record straight.
Misconceptions get under my skin so bad, too. Like, the clone rumor is going around about me again. So I saw a TikTok on it, and all the comments are like, people believe it. And they're like, this is disclosure, or, you know, they can tell you right to your face and people still don't believe it. And people are like, you know, I mean, people were saying that they believed I was a clone because they thought I didn't age and I look really good, which thank you. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But also people are chiming in, yeah, and she has no personality. So it tracks.
Nice. Thanks.
Like, there was all this shit. And then somebody chimed in and they go, this is the same girl that said Diddy's parties were no big deal. And I so badly want to chime in and go, no, that was Kendra.
Yeah.
Like, it irritates, even though I know I can't babysit everybody's opinion of me, it so irritates me when there's just a misconception that somebody's, like, trying to skewer me about.
Yeah.
Skewer me about something I did. Don't skewer me about a misconception.
Right.
There were a couple other things on there, too, like, that I was like, oh, somebody was like, oh, she's a clone and Hef didn't even want her. I'm like, I left him, fucker.
God.
Like, I hate those narratives.
Hate people. Yeah, so that's frustrating to me, so I just have to set the record straight. Sorry to sound like a broken record, because I know I've said it straight before, but
So then the Burton van rolls up.
Yeah, so it's Matt. He was so nice. He's the Burton representative, and he comes on in. You know what's interesting is we have this whole thing with him, this whole scene and stuff, and later he's going to come with us, or he wants to come with us, so we'll see if he shows up. And we say in commentary that we ran into him in Vegas, and I don't remember doing that.
Matt?
Yeah.
That sounds vaguely familiar to me, but I don't have specific memories. I'm sure it was one of those things where we're at the Palms and he's just there.
Yeah, we went back for it. We go for Hef's birthday in April, and we run into him there. So I think that was funny.
Yeah, that does sound familiar.
One of my favorite things, especially this time of year, is when I find a gift for someone that I know they wouldn't necessarily get it for themselves, but I know they're going to love it. Like, I just love it. Like that little bit of luxury that they don't even know they're missing in life. For quality gifts at an affordable price, my go-to is Quince for that. Quince lets you treat your loved ones and yourself to everyday luxury at an affordable price. Something everyone needs in their closet, in my opinion, Quince's iconic Mongolian cashmere sweaters, which start at just $50. I got my first one recently. It's like a zip-up hoodie cashmere sweater. It is so soft and so comfy. I just want to wear it every day. Or for the ultimate year-round gifts, check out their 14 karat gold jewelry, Italian leather handbags, and European linen sheet sets. Whatever you're looking for, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. So how do they do it? By partnering directly with top factories and cutting out the cost of the middleman, which passes the savings on to you. Quince is on the nice list. They only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, and they use premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. Not only do I have that amazing cashmere sweater, but I got these 2 jogger sets. One's in baby pink, of course, and one is in black, and they are so soft, so comfortable. They're my everyday go-to, and I'm always bummed when they're dirty. I gotta quick do laundry because I always need to have one of those on hand to lounge around the house in, or even they're cute enough, seriously. I go run my errands in them all the time.
Gift luxury this holiday season without the luxury price tag. Go to quince.com/nextlevel for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/nextlevel to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/nextlevel.
So they come over and they're fully styling us.
But Matt walks in and Kendra goes, "There's the stunna." Was that real or did they like layer her voice over?
I thought it was real.
That's funny.
And so once again, I know I'm going to say this a million times, but we're so lucky to have like them come and like totally style us and
it was
fit
fun.
us out.
They brought like racks of clothes
Yeah.
and things like that. We really wanted to get something custom made, but we just didn't have time. So we just kind of had to pick what they had. But you reminded me what we originally wanted were snow bunny outfits because, as you guys know, obviously there's the famous bunny costume from the Playboy clubs. And some of the Playboy clubs that had pool service had like a bikini version of the bunny costume, which is like what I wore to 4th of July every year. Mm-hmm. But then for the Lake Geneva Club, which had the resort, which had skiing, they had snow bunnies. And they had special outfits with ears and tails. So we wanted to get Burton to make us like an updated version of that, but we just didn't have time to do it.
Yeah, it was a bummer. And you wanted to wear the Yeti costume because Burton has like a Yeti
mascot.
Yeah.
And I have to think that we must have had some kind of preliminary meeting with Burton before this one that's recorded. Because as they come in, I'm already like, can I be the Yeti? Well, so I'm like, how would I have known they had a Yeti?
They sent us a catalog so we could like pre-look at like types of things that we wanted and like kind of figure it out beforehand.
And then they turned me into a Yeti as a graphic.
Yes.
Because I'm going on about the Yeti. Because I already know, like, I'm going to be not a good snowboarder. Like, I've never done it before, so I might as well go and, like, try to be funny or, like, scare people or something. And Kendra goes, "What's a Yeti?" And I go, "Oh, it's like a Bigfoot, otherwise known as Sasquatch." And this is so stupid. But somebody had that clip on TikTok, and somebody commented, "She thinks she's so smart with just basic information." It's like, no, I don't. She asked what a Yeti was. How the fuck else are you going to explain it?
Yeah, and a Yeti is typically one that's in the higher elevations, and it's usually white.
Yeah.
Because it's in the snow,
like
so it blends in better.
Everest.
Yeah, and the Matterhorn has a Yeti.
Mm-hmm. So does Expedition Everest. But that's the broken Yeti.
What do you mean?
They did this giant Yeti for Expedition Everest. Have you been on that roller coaster?
I don't think so.
It's in Animal Kingdom at Disney World, and it's supposed to be Mount Everest. And the storyline is you go up there, and the Yeti breaks the track. So you're on this roller coaster, and you go up to the highest point, and the track is like broken, and then you go backwards and back through it, and you see the Yeti.
Oh.
But they designed the Yeti. He was supposed to move and like break the track, and then you're supposed to like switch the track. But something happened where like the base underneath him couldn't hold his weight, so he can't move. So they just had to like put him stationary, and they do like a strobe light on him instead.
Oh.
So it's kind of like a known thing among Disney people that's like the broken Yeti, or they call him Disco Yeti.
Yeah.
Do you think Kendra and Shawn White hooked up?
Uh,
Wait, do you know something?
No, I
was
don't
just throwing
know.
That out there.
I don't know. But at the time, well, because I kind of have differing thoughts. At the time, I did think that something was going on.
Oh, interesting.
And not because she did not know him before this episode. This is, she meets them for the first time when we all do and stuff. But as we'll get to it, like, there was some very flirtatious stuff going on. Oh. And there's things that happen off camera, too, that I can talk about. I mean, you were there, too, that we can talk about.
I'll need a memory refresher for sure.
But it did feel like there was definitely some flirting going on at the very least. It did feel like there was something more than that. But this is kind of where we talk about how Shawn White is coming. We're talking about it with Matt. And we're super excited to meet him. And I just, again, how incredible is it that we get to go snowboarding and have Shawn White join us? Like, who gets to say that?
Yeah.
I just feel like some of this kind of experiences, like, you can't even pay for these kind of experiences.
Yeah, like, we had pros teaching us how to do everything, like Shawn White, and then I had, like, Amanda Beard teach me to swim. We had Kelly Slater for surfing.
Yeah, just, like, incredible. Awesome. And so they show a quick clip of Shawn White, like, signing autographs and doing flips and spins on his snowboard and everything, taking photos with fans and stuff, like, just kind of a quick glimpse of, like, who he is and how famous he is.
Did I tell you that? I have the vaguest phantom memory of this. But when I was like new to Vegas, I went snowboarding on up in like Mount Charleston area.
Okay.
And
it sounds weird to say, oh, I was in Vegas and I went snowboarding.
Yeah,
like that sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's not like a big snowboarding place, but there's a mountain close by where if there's enough snow, you can go snowboarding. So I went, and Carrot Top came with us, and people thought he was Shawn White left and right. Like, he kept getting mistaken for Shawn White.
Oh, my God. I guess if you're redhead, there's not that many out there.
People were excited. So then Hef comes downstairs, and why does he look high as fuck?
Does he? I did not notice.
He comes downstairs with the biggest shit-eating grin, cackling already, and he sits in the throne chair, and we do a fashion show for him, and I don't think he's really high. But he looks like it and seems like it. He's like cackling. Like, I don't know what he just got done doing when he came down those stairs.
Huh. I did not notice that he seemed high, but that's funny that you say that.
It was like he just had, like, I don't think he's like painkillered up or anything. Like, he doesn't seem woozy or anything like that. But it seems like somebody just fed him laughing gas or something, which was very untypical.
Yeah. Just in a really good mood.
Yeah, I don't, like, high on life.
Well, that reminds me, too, because, I mean, I feel like people are going to, like, say something, but, you know, Crystal's book, she was talking about him taking all these medications and stuff like that, and so I think it's interesting that you think that he looked high at this one. I did not notice it, but even so, like, it would have been, like, the one time in, 6 years or something that we thought he might be high or something. Yeah. But it just reminds me of this thing that you said. You were just talking like whatever nonchalantly, and you're like, oh yeah, the mansion was all like
old and moldy.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And people took that literally. Like, they're like, I saw comments, people are like, oh, so Crystal's lying when she says it's moldy, but now she's admitting it was moldy. And I'm like, you guys don't understand that that's just sort of like a
saying.
Like a saying, yeah.
Like, I might say a piece of clothing, and like, oh, I'm at a thrift store, but this shirt was like old and moldy. Doesn't mean it literally has mold on it. Just like old and moldy means it's like old and gross.
Yeah.
And for the record, we never said Crystal was lying about the mold.
Right.
In my opinion, it seems like there might have been some exaggeration, or maybe like we knew there was mold like on the third floor at some point, but we just don't know the whole story about it and wanted more details.
Yeah.
So that was it. But I never, for the record, even though I might describe some of like the interior of the mansion as old and moldy, to my knowledge, there was not any literal mold when I was there. Yeah. To my knowledge. I don't know.
Same. But I just feel like it's one of those things that's going to come up because people just like, it's one of the reasons why I don't like.
You have to second guess everything you say.
Yeah. And it's one of the reasons I don't like to do favorites because, like, I feel like I'll say 20 years ago, oh, my favorite movie is Titanic. And then today you'll ask me what your favorite movie is. And I'll be like, Goonies. And people will say, actually, she's lying because 20 years ago on August 17th, 2022, she said, or 2002, she said it was Titanic. Like,
exactly.
People are so ridiculous like that I just can't.
It's too much. And it's always about something dumb, too.
I
Like something very inconsequential.
I know.
So not us waking up at 4 a.m. to go to Vail.
Of course.
Like we're allowed to do the overnight, but we're still packing it in to be as short a trip as possible.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We have to get up at 4 because we have to do this as quick as possible. Like we can't be there any extra time that isn't like fully devoted to filming and getting what we need to get done.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And when we're ready to go, I do this thing that's a little strange. I do this funny goodbye to Hef where we all walk in to say goodbye. I have Duchess, my chihuahua, in my arms, and I dump Duchess on the bed, which we had those little dog stairs that go up to the bed, so the dogs were like free to go on the bed sometimes if they wanted to. But I don't remember him ever like snuggling with Duchess or anything. So it seems weird to like dump the dog in the bed. And it seems weird that we're even waking him up with the cameras. Like, I have to believe I told him that might happen the night before. Because I feel like that's usually the type of thing that he would have been. Because later on in season 5, there's a time when during the middle of the day, when I walk upstairs into like his scrapbook area with the cameras, and he reamed me so fucking hard for doing that and not warning him. So I can't imagine I didn't kind of discuss this with him the night before, like him saying, oh, I'm going to miss you. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll come like wake you up and say goodbye before we leave or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that this had to have been prefaced because I'm watching it back thinking, are you sure you want to go in there right now?
You know what's funny is, so I had a little bit of that hesitation too. Like, are we really going to go in with cameras and wake him up to say goodbye? But then he is like very happy that we came in to say goodbye, even though we wake him up and everything. But it does seem an unlikely scene for him to do. But I feel like we've done it before or have done it other times.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an exact memory. Maybe one of you guys in the comments can tell us if we've done that already on the show so far. It does seem kind of phantom familiar, but I don't know if we really did it in the morning like that. Did we do it when we left for Lodi or something?
One of those. I swear we've done it before where we've woken him up and to say goodbye. And I feel like he's told us before, like, make sure you guys say goodbye before you go. I'm gonna miss you guys. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he knew it was happening, and I feel like it was something we had done before. So then I was like, wait, why am I feeling like kind of cringy on this when I feel like no, it's okay. So I have both feelings, and I'm not sure why. But I know what you mean because I have that hesitation.
I feel like it just must have been discussed beforehand or like the night before. Like, oh, we'll come and say goodbye before we leave. Because if we did it without any knowledge, I feel like that would have been crazy.
You know what? I just saw a note that goes back to the little fashion show that we were doing.
Yeah.
When Kendra comes out in her outfit and she's like shaking her butt and stuff, Hef does this thing that grosses me out. He could go, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I know it too, and it grossed me out too. And the only reason I didn't put it in my notes is I felt like people are going to be like, oh, well, you're just jealous because he's enjoying Kendra's dancing or something like that. But what?
It has nothing to do with Kendra's dancing or even Kendra.
It's socks?
No, it's what you're going to say. I'm just saying it has nothing to do with being jealous, though.
Yeah, not for me either, but I just felt like people would interpret it that way. So I'm like, oh, I'm just not going to mention that.
It's just the way he says it.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, or get it, baby, or something.
Yeah, he says it like 3 times in a row, and it just sounds like too sexual. And like, to me, to me, it had nothing to do with her. Like, it could have, he could have said it to any one of us, and I would have cringed out and grossed out on this too. He's like, yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah. I forget. I don't even know how he said it exactly, but I was like, ew, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I had the same feeling too.
So we are done with the fashion show. I think Hef really got a kick at it. He really enjoyed watching that, which is fun for him to be supportive like that, I feel like. Because I feel like a lot of people would be like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's cute that he wanted to be involved in that. He leaves, and then it cuts back to the dining room, and Matt is packing up the rest of the stuff, and you're already gone, and it shows me just like walking out with hands full of loot. I know I've already told you guys that Rocket Money literally messaged me to tell me they could be saving me money on my cell phone bill, and I was so excited about that. Now every time I get alerts from them, I'm like, ooh, are they going to save me money again? Like, I'm always looking out for it because it's amazing. Plus, it's the end of the year, and this is that time of year when I start getting worried about like getting all my financials together and figuring out what my taxes are going to be and all of that crazy stuff. And it can feel so complicated and time consuming, but it doesn't have to be. Rocket Money simplifies everything, making it so easy to see exactly what's happening with your finances, track your spending, and give you full control of all of it right from your phone. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
You get to see all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For any you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with a few taps. That is so valuable to me because one thing I hate is trying to figure out, okay, how do I cancel this? Because some of those things aren't as easy to cancel as they could be. Let's face it. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you, sometimes by up to 20%. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/nextlevel. That's rocketmoney.com/nextlevel. rocketmoney.com/nextlevel.
So yeah, then the next scene, as we talked about, it's us saying goodbye to Hef, being up super early. Oh, and I have to just remind too, because people ask about silly things like this sometimes. Like I'm only saying goodbye to Gizmo. There's no sign of Winnie in my room. Anytime that I went away on a trip like this, I always took her to my parents' house so that she'd had like 24/7. And they love grandma and grandpa time with their granddaughter. Yeah. So she was at my parents' house.
So then we get to Vail. Vail is very cute. If you've never been, it reminds me of a cute little Christmas town, even though it wasn't Christmas when we went. And do you remember there were like shops, there were like fur stores that had mannequins with like fur thongs?
Yes. And
I bet those are still there.
The fur shops are still there.
Do they do the thongs?
I haven't seen the thongs in the window anymore. But like, so Nick's dad lived in Vail. And so every summer, which is the reason we go to Colorado every summer, we go to Vail. And it's to visit now his stepmom because his dad has passed, and then other family in Denver and stuff. But we go to Vail every year now, and so it's so weird every time I'm there. Like it's always a reminder of when we were there, and that was because this is the first time I'm ever going to Vail. I think it's the first time I've ever gone to Colorado is in this episode here, and the fact that it's going to be such a part of my life later on down the road, it's weird how you just don't know those things, you know?
Yeah.
And totally. The village is 100% so cute. It's like a little European village, and in summertime it's amazing because they have all of those like draping flowers off the buildings and like little baskets hanging everywhere. It's the cutest little downtown, and there's the creek running through, and
it's adorable.
It's incredible. Like I love Vail. But it wasn't originally supposed to be Vail. Originally, we were supposed to go to Park City, Utah.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
I remember with that one, it got switched because of Shawn's schedule.
Uh-huh.
So originally he wanted it to be Park City, Utah, and then I don't know what happened, but he couldn't do it, and Vail. Well, they said Colorado would be better, and then we were going to be in Aspen, and then it got switched to Vail because I guess Vail's more like snowboarding.
Oh, interesting.
So
I'm glad we started out in Vail because it's smaller, it's less intimidating. Like after we went to Aspen, I remember all three of us were like, "Oh, we like Vail better," and Keith was like, "Oh, how can you like Vail better than Aspen?" Because he loves Aspen. I think he lived there for a while.
Well, it's two kind of different feelings. Vail is very kind of
like a bigger
homey.
town,
yeah, and like kind of just real cute and quaint. And I feel like Aspen is a little more hoity-toity, and like they're both beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that one of our listeners ran into Barbie?
No.
Yeah, his name's Liam. He comments on our stuff all the time and posts, and sometimes I'll like repost him. And he took a picture with Barbie like just yesterday or something at an event, and he tagged me, and I think tagged you too, and said, "I ran into Barbie and I told her she has to go on Girls Next Level podcast."
Yes, thank you, Liam. I wonder what she said.
She's probably like, "Yeah, sure. No, fuck them."
Yeah. That would be amazing. That would be
Barbie,
so amazing. Do you notice as we're leaving the airport, you're on the phone with somebody?
No, I didn't notice.
And I'm like, and I'm like, oh, she must be calling Hef, because one of the last things he says to you is call me as soon as you get there. Yeah. But we call him from the shuttle bus that's going from the hotel, from the airport to the hotel.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not Hef.
Well, it could have been. It could have just been like, well, we need to call you for the show now, too.
Maybe you're prepping that we landed and you're going to be calling so they can have the cameras in there to film them. Maybe that's what it is.
And then we are taken to the condo that we're staying in.
And this is I'm going to give the hotel another shout out because...
Wait, was it a hotel? Because we keep saying it's a condo. What is it? Is it like a resort with condos?
It's the Vail Cascade Resort and Spa. So they have a section of condos, but I think there's also the hotel version of it. If I remember right, it's a hotel with condos that you can also rent. And yeah, we are oohing and awing. Like, we are like so excited about this place.
Yeah, I think that's something, and you'll keep noticing it through this episode, is we're not ungrateful.
No.
At all. Like, we're not spoiled in our lives at this. Like, we are going through this condo like we just got dropped off in the middle of Versailles or something. We're just like, this is the best thing. And it was amazing, but it's condo at the end of the day. And we are oohing and awing over it like it's the best thing we've ever seen. They had like dessert platters out for us, which we'd never
with our names
had
on
that done for us before. Like later on, you'll see other stuff is set up for us. And I just remember feeling so spoiled on that trip. And like no one had ever like gone out of their way for us before. Like, of course, I'd been on trips with Hef where like we show up in New York and there's a big gift basket for him or something.
Yeah.
But nobody had ever done it for us.
Right.
And that just felt so amazing.
It did. It was like kind of the first of it. And I don't even have this in my notes, but I was thinking about it after the fact. Is this the trip where Kendra was like really pissed because they weren't flying us first class and made a big deal that it was fucking bullshit and we need to start flying first class and stop with this shit? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that at all. And two, they didn't fly us first class. Like, I know we always flew Southwest, like to Vegas and stuff, because that is what there is. But when you're on a hit TV show,
no, they were not.
They should be fucking flying us first class.
They were not flying us first class, and we were doing coach and we were doing Southwest everywhere. And I feel like on this trip, it may not have been Southwest, but I think that it was coach. And I don't know for sure if it was this trip, but it was somewhere around in this time frame that Kendra like blew a gasket. And I think it's because she's starting to do these club appearances and they're flying her first class.
Yeah.
But yeah, our show is flying us coach, and she lost her shit on Kevin. And
good, I'm glad somebody
told
did.
him, what
good
the fuck? We deserve to be flying first class, and you guys got us filming and up early and like doing all this shit and stuff, and we're stuffed in coach. And she used to, and I feel like it was on one of the times was on this trip on the way home. If she could, she would take up like 3 seats and like sleep.
Oh, that rings a bell.
And I feel like I remember her doing it on this trip. Because wasn't
the plane kind of empty?
Yeah, the plane was empty. It wasn't like she, moved people or anything like that. But like she had 3 seats and she was like laying down on them. And she like, and I was like, good for her. Like, and from then on, they started flying us like business or first class. But she reamed Kevin over this.
Well, thank you, Kendra.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it was this trip.
Because
100%, but
yeah, and just so you guys listening, just so we don't sound entitled or something, it's just kind of industry standard at that level. Or because like you said, like for even her club appearances or club appearances that you would do eventually or that I would do eventually, they'll fly you first class. Like that's kind of standard for things like that. So it should have been first class.
Right.
But they just always thought, oh, those girls, nah.
Yeah, because, and a lot of times back in the early days, as we said before, we paid for our own flights even. Mm-hmm. They didn't even pay for our flights, period. So, when we're going to Southwest for Vegas for Carmela's birthday or whatever, like we paid for those flights.
Yeah, totally.
Even though the show was filming.
Yeah, I want to say this feels like the first time we ever went anywhere without Hef that they paid for our stuff, which is how it should have been. Yeah, and how it is on other shows.
I don't even know if the show paid for it, if they got things comped, like through, you're going to be featured on the show and stuff, which is probably more what happened. But, yeah.
Interesting. So they have these dessert platters set out for us, but of course they have to cut to you being the only one talking about the food.
Of course. And that's not going to be the only time it happens in this episode.
So the next morning, the doorbell rings, and you're wearing all the thermal stuff that goes under your snowboarding gear, but it looks like Dickensian chic long underwear to me.
Well, that's my second Dickensian chic then.
Yeah.
this season.
And then there's a whole scene of us getting dressed for snowboarding. And my thought was, it's amazing what people used to be entertained by back in the day, because I don't think a scene like that would cut it these days. You'd need more drama or story or eye candy. Just a shot of us or a scene of us putting on our snow gear would not cut it these days.
Yeah, you're probably right. Shows me putting on my bunny ears. Oh, do you remember too? So Matt comes
explain your snow bunny outfit for those who maybe don't have it fresh in their mind.
So, ow.
What happened?
I don't know. All of a sudden I got this weird, shocking, like, nerve thing that went through my thumb. Started from here to my thumb.
Random.
Maybe I was holding it in a weird spot too long. Yeah. Ugh, that I didn't even like that feeling. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to be Snow Bunny, and since we didn't get those outfits made, I just kind of did my own janky thing. So I put the baby blue bunny costume ears over my beanie, and then I pinned a tail on the back of my pants. And I thought that would stay on.
Oh, yeah.
I'll find out differently.
Weight loss solutions are not one size fits all. I know that just dealing with myself and different phases I've been in throughout my adult life where I've wanted to get back in shape or have a particular body goal, whether it was postpartum or dealing with other health issues or things like that. Sometimes it's not just as simple as switching up your diet or finding the right kind of exercise. If you're struggling with losing weight and need some extra help, it's time you check out Hers. Hers is changing women's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable weight loss treatments. Their holistic program gives you access to personalized solutions like GLP-1 weekly injections that have the same active ingredients as Ozempic and Wegovy and oral medication kits. Hers connects you with a medical provider who will create a personalized treatment plan tailored to your needs. If prescribed, you'll get the medication as part of a doctor-developed weight loss program, including ongoing care and online support at no additional cost. Through Hers, weight loss plans are more affordable with compounded GLP-1 injections starting at $199 per month with a 12-month subscription paid up front. No hidden fees and no membership fees. Plus, your personalized treatment ships for free directly to your door. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time to find the best option that works for you with Hers.
Start your free online visit today at forhers.com/nextlevel. That's FORHERS.com/nextlevel for your personalized weight loss treatment options. Forhers.com/nextlevel. Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. But yeah, so I'm putting my bunny ears on, and then it's showing us, you and I getting ready, and Matt helping us and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, like, the record scratches, and then it's like cool music plays because Kendra's getting ready. It's a whole different vibe they want to show.
And then her comment is very pick me.
Her comment, I don't remember it making me mad at the time, but watching this back pissed me off. Because she says, I don't dress up in little snow bunny outfits after I'm clearly just doing this whole snow bunny thing, and we wanted to have custom snow bunny costumes made. And it shows me putting my ears on, and Kendra says she likes looking like a hardcore fucking snowboarder.
Which is fine if that's what you like, but it's like the tone when she's talking about, I don't get dressed up in like the bunny outfit. It's just like,
yes.
Why do you always have to shit on us? Like, it's totally okay if you're not into campy shit. A lot of people aren't. You don't have to like it, but like, why do you have to like shit on us and be like, I'm the cool one and they're fucking dorks?
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. So then they play upbeat, fun music to show B-roll of the snowy mountain of people snowboarding. And we get off the shuttle with our snowboards, and our instructors are there waiting for us. And Kendra doesn't want to like even like do the normal just pleasantries of saying hi and like getting started. She's like, let's go. She's very adamant to hurry up and get going. So we jump on the gondola, and I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, I think the gondolas are hella scary.
Really? I can see that if you're like scared of heights or something.
I am scared of heights. And it's one of the reasons that I do things to like push those boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the reasons that I used to go rappelling, that I've been skydiving, that I do trapeze and stuff like that. Like, I try and like fight through that and not be, but I am. And I recently did another gondola in Mount Washington. There's a gondola up to the top of the mountain. And I was like like I am like clenched fists and like I get real quiet and I'm even scared to like pull out my phone and take pictures. Like even though we were in an enclosed bubble, like I feel like what if I drop my phone and then I have to lean down? Did nobody move too quickly? Like I don't want this rocking. Like I really freak out on it.
I did a gondola in Hong Kong and it has like a glass bottom.
So scary.
It was so beautiful though. It was over like a lot of like green kind of woodsy area. It was really cool.
Like I love them and I totally get it and I will do them in like touristy places and like they're all over in Switzerland and stuff and I get it and I get the appeal of them, but I am going to be scared while I'm on them.
Do you remember a few years ago they were going to put one in Griffith Park?
Well, are you talking? Well, they want to do the one for Dodger Stadium. Is it going to go over Griffith Park? Is that going to be the same one?
No, the Griffith Park one was different. It was just in Griffith Park,
kind of Hollywood
and it
sign?
like went to the Hollywood sign.
Yes, I like the idea.
Yeah, I was kind of like anti it, and I don't remember why.
Maybe it was going to go over your house.
Yeah, like I don't think it was going to go directly over my house, but I think I thought it would look ugly or there would be like there was something about it I didn't like, and I was like glad when it didn't go through. Like, I like the idea of going in the gondola, and it would be fun to, like, look out over the city and stuff like that. But I forget what it was. There was something about the plan I didn't like.
They want to do one going to Dodger Stadium.
I think that would be fun.
I forget where it starts, but it's to, like, help with the traffic and, like, that whole mess trying to get out of there. But I know that there was just, like, a city council meeting not that long ago, and there were people for and against it. Like, it's a big fight. So I don't know.
I need a gondola up to my house.
You do. Yeah, so I'm nervous on that. And then
Your nerves are not quelled.
I know. Then we look down and we see like emergency crews rushing to somebody and full on putting him in a stretcher, putting blankets over him, like a full on medical emergency going on below us.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was unsettling.
Yeah. And you say, I hope that's not us later in the day.
Yeah. So when we get off, I don't think anybody's surprised that Kendra immediately separates from us because she has to go do her own thing. I had never snowboarded before this. Had you?
Yes. I'd been a couple of times. And it's why I'm a little nervous about it because I hurt myself so bad. I fell and I hurt my tailbone. And I didn't get any like medical attention for it or anything like that. But I could not sit like a normal person for probably 2 months.
Whoa.
And I had to get one of those weird donut things. And I always had to sit on the side of my ass.
I heard people have to get those when they get BBLs.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
But it was so bruised. And so like even the slightest touch of it was like so painful.
Oh, no.
And honestly, even today, if I accidentally, like if I were to sit down on this chair and I miss it a little bit, and like I say, I hit the arm a little bit with my tailbone, it will flare up again.
Oh, no.
It's so painful and so bad. So I don't know what I did, if I bruised the bone, if I have like a small fracture on it. I don't think there's anything they can do, even if you do injure your tailbone like that. But it was so bad. And so I'm very nervous to be out there again doing this. Because the one wrong fall on it, and I know that I'm just going to be in so much pain for like probably months.
Yeah, that's scary.
So it's why I don't like snowboarding.
No.
But I was willing to give it another shot here.
Yeah, you gave it a try.
But it's probably why I have a lot of fear, and I'm scared to just like let go and really try.
I would be too. So when you're working with the instructor, I see the cutest thing in the background, which is like either an instructor or a parent like dragging a kid on like a leash.
Yes.
And I guess that's how they teach kids to ski sometimes. But I just remember, because I had never been skiing or snowboarding in my life before we went here, and I hadn't seen any of this stuff like in media or anywhere, but I was so enthralled with all the cute kid stuff, like all the cute outfits and like them pulling the kids and stuff and all the helmets they had. Like some had unicorn horns and some had manes. And I was like, oh my God, this is the cutest stuff.
So cute.
And in commentary, weren't we talking about kids on leashes?
Yeah, we were talking about how we didn't like the idea of kids on leashes. And back then, it was sort of a thing. Like, people were doing it.
It was a big thing. It was like a new thing and a big thing. I don't see it very much at all anymore.
I don't see it anymore. But at that time, like, and not just on the snow. Like, people were doing it at the mall or walking down the street. They had kids on leashes. And we were talking about how we didn't like it. And how that John and Victoria were talking about getting a leash for their daughter. And we were like, no! And like freaking out that they can't do it.
It seems so dehumanizing, and I wonder if everybody just kind of came to that conclusion because I don't see kids on leashes much anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get the idea behind. One time I tweeted about kids on leashes before I had kids, and some lady I knew chimed in and was like, well, if you have kids and toddlers, you'll understand because they run away and stuff like that. And I probably should get it. One time Rainbow ran away at Disneyland when I looked away for 1 second, and it was so traumatic. And I'm very paranoid about going out with my kids. Like, now that they're 8 and 11, I can kind of do it a little bit now. But even up to now, I would not go anywhere by myself. I always have to have another person with me if I'm taking both the kids somewhere, because I always just have this fear that, like, I'm going to get jumped, or they're going to get kidnapped, or I'm not going to be able to protect them, or one of them's going to run away if I look the other way. Like, I have such a paranoia about it that you'd think I would be a leash person. But
yeah,
maybe if I like had to do it on my own, I would be a leash person. But hey guys, if you want more Girls Next Level tea, behind the scenes, and deep dives, head over to our Patreon page for the exclusive content you can only find there. We have a whole other podcast called Slumber Party with Holly and Bridget. We have the commercial-free, uncensored video version of Girls Next Level, our personal scrapbooks, advice, Q&A, and so much more. I'm up in the comments talking to you guys. It's all the good stuff. We've been doing this for about 1.5 years now, so there's a ton of content to binge. So go over to patreon.com/girlsnextlevel to join our Patreon family. We love you guys so much. We'll see you there.
Well, also in the background, you see people tubing, and that's what I really wanted to do. Like, I love tubing.
Yeah, that's fun.
But can I tell you I had a tubing accident once, too?
What happened?
So this was a church, like, thing. We used to go on these, like, oh, God, what did they even call them? They were just, like, little overnight things, and we'd go to another church, and we'd actually spend the night in the church, like inside the cathedral part or whatever you call it, like the actual church part. And we would go and just do fun things during the day. They're like little retreats, I guess. And so we went up to like the snow, and we're tubing and everything. And so what they want you to do is like kind of get a little bit of a running start and then jump onto the tube and go down. So I'm like doing it, and I get one leg over, but one leg is still planted in the snow and stuck in the snow. It ripped my legs like into the splits, which I can't do the splits.
Oh my God.
And then eventually I flew into the thing, but it hurt so bad, like a major groin injury. But I still love tubing to this day.
Aw. Speaking of kids and snowboarding, my kids go to Big Bear every year, and Forrest comes back saying he's a legend in Big Bear. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know what it is. But if I had my son's confidence, I would take over the fucking world. Like, I envy it so much. It's crazy. But you know what? I want to tell you, I got this weird download years ago.
I love downloads. Tell me.
Me too. It's so bizarre. And this was one of the earliest ones I got. And it was when I was like really young, in my early 20s. Because as you know, like I've always had like such a calling to have kids. It was always like very urgent, very like I knew I needed to do it. And I remember getting a download once at one point. And when you get the downloads, you're kind of like hearing it, but it's not really in words. But you get the idea so clearly you could put it into words. It's hard to explain. But I'm getting this psychic download, and it's kind of like somebody's telling me, okay, I know you want to be famous and stuff, but like you're not going to change the world, but your kids are. And it's so weird to me. And like, I have no like horse in this game. Like, I don't need my kids to accomplish anything. Like, as long as they're happy people, I don't care. But I've lived long enough to see how my downloads usually play out. And they're usually pretty accurate. So I'm kind of curious what they're going to do. But I so believe in my downloads, and I've so seen my downloads coming true, that it's kind of in the back of my mind, like, I'm curious what they're going to do.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, like I have no, like if they don't do anything and they're just like happy people, that's fine with me too. But I'm kind of like, what's it going to be?
Yeah. Ooh, stay tuned,
Yeah,
folks.
it's very, very interesting. And it's funny because we were talking earlier about how people nitpick what we say. And they're like, oh, you said this, but in 2003, you said something like this, and what they're pointing out isn't even a mutually exclusive thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like I give some of the most unhinged confessions on here. Like, oh, I saw a ghost in my house and heard a voice, and then I got a download. Like, I'm surprised somebody hasn't 5150'd me yet, but nobody focuses on that shit. They focus on something fucking dumb.
You said moldy. You said moldy. I heard her say moldy.
Exactly. It's always like the dumbest shit, but I'm sitting here like unhinged, like as if I'm fucking Joan of Arc, like, the Lord spoke to my head and said,
One other thing I want to point out in here is there's like a giant snow cat plowing the snow right where we're about to like go, and they're like, okay, so we're gonna like go down this hill right here, and they show this scene, but they don't really focus on it much or explain what I'm looking at. But like I'm like, but this snow cat is there. Like, are we gonna like? I guess it just does its thing and then it leaves, so we weren't in jeopardy. But it did kind of like freak me out for a second. Like, I don't trust myself to stop. Like, I don't know how to stop, except for to throw myself to the snow. And so, like, I don't feel comfortable doing this with that thing out there because I'm going to run into it.
yeah, that's scary. When you said snowcat, I thought you meant you saw snow leopard.
Oh, I wish.
Which, speaking of, when did we see the ermine?
The next day. Did you see it too?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I second guess myself sometimes that I saw it.
Yeah, because you saw this little white ferret thing with a black tip of its tail.
Yes, and you guys, I did not know what it was. It was like I thought it was like a squirrel, a white squirrel, and it went running through the snow and into the forest. And I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. I just saw a white squirrel, and you were like, that was an ermine.
Yeah, ermines are kind of similar to ferrets. They turn white in the winter, and they have a little black tip on their tail. And like if you see old paintings of like kings, and they have those coats that are white with like the little black spots, it's ermine skin.
Yeah.
So that's what those are. But they're so cute.
So cute. And it's the only time I've ever seen one.
So cute. I love ferrets and anything ferret-like.
It was so fast, I didn't realize that it was more ferret-like. I thought it was like a squirrel. That's my thought. That was my,
Oh, well, ferrets can be fast too.
Yeah.
Mine get the zoomies.
Yeah. They're funny.
So as we are reminiscing about being in the snow, we hope you guys are having a good winter so far and getting ready for whatever kind of holiday you celebrate. How's your stuff going on? Are you ready?
I've started, which is more than I usually have at this point.
I haven't, and my kids are kind of at that age where it's not so obvious what I should get them for Christmas anymore.
Oh, no.
So I need to like do a little more research. Like I have a few things screenshot. Like Forrest wants a big like real treasure chest for his fort in the backyard. Yeah, for Rainbow, I don't know. She just wants like Robux. I think she's starting to slowly get into like cosmetics and perfumes
what's Robux?
and stuff. You know the game Roblox?
Oh, Roblox. I feel like I've seen something about that, but I don't know what it is.
Roblox has like these Lego looking characters that you can customize. It's your avatar and you walk around in different worlds and there's other people playing. So nothing really happens in the game. You're just kind of like walking around places, but kids are super into it. And Robux is the money you spend. So you can buy like gift certificates for them to like buy stuff on.
Oh, that reminds me. Have you tried the Apple VR headsets?
I haven't yet.
If you go in there, they'll do like, it takes like 30 minutes, but they'll do like a whole thing. They take you in the back and they do this whole thing. It is incredible.
Really? What kind of world did you go into?
All kinds. They do a whole, like there's a whole tutorial thing, but you can do all kinds of things. First of all, you can do all your work on there. Like you can sit there and grab apps and like move things around and like change things and like scroll everything right in front of just in the air in front of your face. And then you can like they have you like sitting on like the edge of a volcano in Hawaii. They have you standing on a beach.
Does it look real or is it cartoony?
So real. And you look down and you can see like, it looks like you're like it's incredible.
That's
incredible.
Crazy.
But by the time this episode airs, I will definitely be well into my holiday stuff.
Yeah. Are you decorating this year?
Yeah.
We were having the decorations put up in the Vegas house, and they were having haunted experience. It's weird because haunted things always happen when like the decorators are there doing the trees, and where the tree is set up in the living room, that's where I hear stuff a lot. It's like something about the Christmas decorations brings something out in there.
Maybe one of the previous owners really loved the holidays or something. Or
Yeah, I also had one psychic tell me that she saw like this mobster looking, like a Joe Pesci looking kind of guy walking around with like an old fashioned phone in there, and like he doesn't know he's dead.
Oh.
So he might be like, who the fuck is putting up a tree? I didn't order this.
Yeah. Totally. That reminds me. Oh my God. And I'm so excited for this. For my Ghost Bunny podcast, I have this woman coming on, and we are going to be talking all about Victorian ghost stories that they used to tell at Christmas time.
Oh, that's cute.
And some of them are so good. And what you just said reminded me of one of them.
Ooh, I want to hear it.
They're amazing.
Ooh, I
I'm
can't
like,
wait.
I can't like sit there and read them verbatim on the show, but I just like kind of I'm paraphrasing them for the show, but I can't wait to talk about them and the history and origin of all of it and everything.
I love it.
It's exciting.
So you might be freaked out that I said something was old and moldy, but I'm also getting voices in my head and ghosts in my house. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. If you want more content, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/girlsnextlevel, and check out our merch at girlsnextlevel.shop.
Bye, guys.
Bye.